cameras are all focused on you, the center of the scene. Not just in character, you are the character. The part to play and singularly yours. Written just for you, you are met with silence. No barking orders from the director. No call to action that you need to become this version of yourself. The demand to act fills your mind, but the script pages holds no words. Your past has helped you mold you into what you are, forced upon the skills required to hone your craft. That same past has scrapped deep scars into you, not on the outside where the world can see, but in a place buried so deep within that it has become shapeless. You push those memories down, but let experiences drive you into who or what you must play. Welcome to the TacosandGeeks.com review of Layers of Fear 2. Justin here, and we are about to get into it. So let's talk a little bit about the story. What you just heard was the overview synopsis of the game. And Layers of Fear, narrative-wise, is not what you expect. Layers of Fear is not told in like a chronological order. Most of the story is told with items being picked up through newspaper articles, things that's written on the wall. So you don't really get much of a characterization until towards the end where the narrative really does come together. The story compared to the first one, and I'm not going to do like a comparison review type of thing, but compared to the first one, I would say that the story is more weaker, more cohesive, and sometimes at times a little bit hard to follow, which made it a little bit disappointing compared to the way the first one was. I really enjoyed it. So overall, the story, I would say it's but it's enough for you to get you into the atmosphere of the game. Let's talk a little bit about the graphics. The graphics is beautiful. This game looks so good, so crisp. Really does a great job of putting this horror element into this, the ship that will basically remind you of the old school cruises and ocean liners like the Titanic. And I really did like that feel. And that's the feel that they were going for. They're really going for this old school Hollywood type of vibe, and you can really see the influence of this. And I thought the time period that they chose to make this game fits very well with the narrative, very well with the story, and I thought it worked very well. The graphics is beautiful. I do have a little bit of complaints, which I will tell you about the graphics later on when I get to it, but the game features heavy on black and white color scheme palette that I felt took me out of the horror. There's some really genuine scares in this game, but it didn't really scare me because it was like watching a old silent black and white film. And that doesn't mean that black and white films weren't scary. I mean, Frankenstein, Dracula, I mean, Wolfman, the list goes on. But just for this particular game, I thought they would have just stuck with the color palette that you're seeing here. I thought it would have been a really, really good way to really solidify the scares, but it kind of just took it out, took the tone away from it, and I thought it actually kind of hurt the game a little bit when it comes to the graphic wise. Gameplay, let's talk a little bit about the gameplay here. I honestly think that the PT style of horror is now running its course, because me personally, this is my personal opinion, I have played so many of games like this, and I love the first Layers of Fear. But I think the first-person horror haunted house exploration where the jump scare is triggered by you doing something by either zooming into a camera, picking up an item, or just walking to an area where lights flicker, a ghost pops up, or something like that. It's getting outdated now, and I think it's time for developers to start going back to more of the horror exploration roots of really just giving us some genuine scares instead of cheap jump scares here. And unfortunately, Layers of Fear 2 does have some of those cheap jump scares, but it's not something that's going to come out of nowhere. It's kind of predictable, and that's the problem. The scares are predictable. You kind of know at times that something's going to trigger, and it's no real build up to the scares. And that's something I really had a problem with, that the jump scares and the scares in the game was too predictable. It was like, okay, I'm going to touch this item, I'm going to turn around, and the ghost is going to be there. And that actually happened. So I would definitely say from a gameplay standpoint, it's still your very simple look at the item, zoom in, and trigger the next scare or trigger the next jump scene or the cut scene. There are some pretty genuine good puzzles in here, which I thought was pretty cool. There's really one cool puzzle with a chair that I thought was pretty cool, but that also triggered a little bit of a jump scare. Let's get into the voice acting here. Voice acting is really, really good. And I'm going to shut up for a minute so you can hear it. So, check it out.
There's always a way. A light in the darkness. There's always a way.
And that voice is who you think it is, you guys. The voice is Tony Todd. He is one of the biggest horror icons, aka we all know him as the Candyman. Voice acting in this is really good. Tony Todd just elevates the game. The music also elevates the game. So there's nothing really wrong with the sound department here. The sounds, the scares that go with it work very well. But like I said, there's just some things that just really hamper it down. I'm about to get into that right now. As I previously alluded to, it was the black and white color palette. As you can see here, I just felt that it takes away from the game. And I thought it just really, I know they were going for that old school Hollywood feel, but for me, it just really took me out of it when it comes to the scares and the sound design and everything else. It just really takes me out of it. I thought if the color here was useful, I thought it would just be absolutely more immersive. But for me, that just didn't work. So overall, is Slays of Fear 2 a game that you should be buying? I would say yes, but wait for it to be on sale. This is going to get a wait for it to be on sale. Like I said, I think the PT first-person exploration horror formula is getting a little bit stale, and we're going to need something more from first-person horrors to really get us back into the mix of this. But overall, it's not a bad game, but it's something I wouldn't pay full price, especially for $30. I'll wait for it to at least be 15 or 10 on sale. So this is Justin from otakusandgeeks.com saying, later days, I will definitely catch you on the next one. Did you guys enjoy Layers of Fear? Comment below and let me know.